Bullpen rankings, the last position group for us to rank. We're going to go through every team from worst to best and give you our opinions on every single bullpen in Major League Baseball. Make sure you are subscribed to the Windup for more baseball content. We have got so much coming out to you. Big shout out to our members who get access to the videos early. And also, if you're interested in a podcast, we have that link in the description. Go listen to the Windup over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We appreciate the amazing support. Can't wait for opening day just around the corner. And James, this is your video right here. Bullpen rankings? Come on now.
Oh, I love this. I can't wait for this. This is the one that's going to get us out of our hive mind. We're going to be very, very different, I think, here for the first time in a long time. It's going to be fun to talk through these big differences. Because I see, just looking at mine right now before we get into it, I think I see 3 or 4 teams that we're going to have stark differences on.
I can't wait to hear what those are. The one thing I will say is I think the bottom, more so than any video we've done, the bottom is it's a hard, these are the worst bullpens in baseball.
Oh, yeah. There's probably, I have like 6 or 7 that are clearly so far. 6, 7, clearly so far below the rest that it was even tough for me to rank them seriously among themselves.
So let's get it started, James. Give us the 5 worst to start.
My 5 worst: Rockies, Nationals, A's, Twins, Angels.
Wow, we're very close. I have the Angels a little bit higher. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
But they're all down there. For me, it goes Nationals worst. I'm giving the Rockies the benefit of the doubt of I actually like the arms way more in the Rockies bullpen. It's just they just pitch in Colorado, so they're incapable. Like Victor Vodnik has some pretty good stuff if he pitched outside of Coors. Juan Mejia had some different stuff we saw in the World Baseball Classic if he pitched outside of Coors.
Boy, Seth Alverson's
my dog, but yeah, they're never going to be good. And the Nationals bullpen is literally one of the worst bullpens I've ever seen assembled on the face of the earth. So bad. D-backs are 28, Athletics 27, I've got the Twins at 26.
Okay, yeah, again, so basically the same thing there. The D-backs, I put one spot ahead of the Angels, like they'll be my number 25 as we get into is deeper because there's just a couple more young arms in there. And I gave the Nationals the slight edge over the Rockies because I just see the way they're modernizing their pitching. And the Nationals, this year the Nationals, I can see having 1 or 2 relievers pop up out of nowhere that by June we're like, oh, that's actually a good reliever. Whereas the Rockies, they have those guys, like you said, I hope they get traded just for the Rockies' sake. And then the other ERAs will be 5 just because it's Colorado.
Yeah, and you also had the Diamondbacks down there, right? Because that bullpen is just...
I just said Diamondbacks bullpen is miserably bad. Paul Sewald is their closer, which is like
that's crazy.
Talk about being a time machine. But I do like 2 of their relievers. I think are starting season AAA. Dre Jameson off of another injury, and Cade Stroud, who I mentioned in the deep breakout video. I think those guys will wind up being mid bullpen guys by summer, and then they have 2 good relievers who I think will be back.
Justin Martinez I think's done. He got hurt at the end of last year, so I can't imagine he's going to be in it.
No, wasn't it like June, July?
Let me see now.
But then also AJ Puck, who got injured like the first week of the season, who was kind of always injured. But
Justin Martinez had surgery. Okay, he had it end of June. AJ Puck had it also same time. So maybe get a month out of them. Yeah,
maybe. But again, if those guys were healthy, it's a little different. But they're not, so it's not.
Yeah, and I mean, do we need the Athletics bullpen's miserable?
Terrible.
And you had the Angels at 26. I did not.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead.
And the Twins, horrible bullpen.
Yeah, Twins are horrible. They're at number
disgustingly
26 for
bad.
me. They, I think their best guy is what? Taylor Rogers? I keep forgetting
Taylor
which one's
Rogers,
which.
Cody Funderbug, Cole Sands, Justin Topa. That's going to be the squad.
A lot of guys who will be traded for at the trade deadline to be like the last relievers on playoff rosters.
Yeah, this also, you're going to see how stark it is on this video between the actual true playoff teams and the contenders and like the World Series teams, where how differently these bullpens are aligned.
All right, let's get the next 5 going, James. 25 to 21.
25 Diamondbacks, 24 Giants, and now is when the tier break begins. Now at 23 Cardinals is when actually decent bullpens I think start to come up. So 23 Cardinals, 22 Rangers, 21 Pirates.
Wow, we are so similar.
For now.
Yeah, for now. I mean, again, we said this was obvious. So Cardinals were 25 for me. I think there are some arms that I like out there, but similarly,
I think 3 really good ones, actually.
Like Riley O'Brien, Swanson, right? And JoJo Romero.
That's actually a squad. Like that's 3
but
dudes.
That's like 3 dudes, but like you can't actually feel good about those being your 3 dudes.
You could feel okay to have like a fringe top 20 bullpen with those being your 3 dudes.
Like they'll win you some games at the end of it, but you're also probably going to be on the edge of your seat a little bit too for everybody else. Rangers 24, Giants 23, Angels 22, Pirates 21, which again, hilarious that we have my Pirates in the exact same spot.
Yeah, exactly. And the Pirates are probably the most volatile, bad bullpen heading into the season just because there's so much stuff upside. A guy we've talked about a lot, Mason Montgomery. Like Mason Montgomery could spin around and be one of the best relievers in baseball.
Him and Justin Lawrence could be one of the low-key best end games. Yeah. But, I mean, Dennis Santana also has the world where He's pitched so well, but like everyone's like, when's it gonna happen? When's he gonna implode?
I do objectively still like Dennis Santana. Johan Ramirez, just that's a crazy guy that had in the middle of a bullpen. You like
Shout
that?
out the Mets.
Your boy Gregory Soto too. Shout out the Mets.
He sucks.
But yeah, this Pirates bullpen would look really good if David Bednar was in it still.
Yes, it would. It would actually be quite good.
Yeah, and this would still be his last year team control. But they really needed to get that 23-year-old catcher in AA for him.
Rangers, we both had here, also abysmally bad bullpen. Chris Martin's awesome. Robert Garcia should be better, but really has never shown it consistently enough.
He was relatively consistent last year. He was a fine pitcher. He started out very cold, then he got pretty hot, so the ERA never fully recovered. But it's not horrific.
There's nobody else in this bullpen that even slightly excites me.
I mean, I think Jacob Jones is going to junk his way through. Jalen Beeks is going to junk his way through. Cole Winn, a converted starter, who was a half-decent starting pitching prospect. He had a very shiny ERA last year, but I don't think the stuff lines up to being like better than like a high threes guy out of the pen. It's not a very good bullpen for a team that I think their fans believe they're competing.
I apologize to the Giants fans. I know every episode they're like, you guys hate us. You shit talk the Giants every single chance you get. This is the one that's probably the most fair. Their bullpen, there's a world where there's like almost no major leaguers in this bullpen.
I think I'm actually giving the benefit of the doubt for this bullpen, not putting them in the bottom five. I seriously thought about it. I mean, like maybe Spencer Bivens and our boy Jose Butto show something, but like Ryan Baruchi, maybe finally it happens. That arm stays attached at 32 years old. I just don't know what. Even Ryan Walker, he was displaced as the closer a year ago. Now he's back in the saddle. Like it's a bad bullpen, but at least they have a lot of, similar to what they did with the rotation, a lot of bodies to throw at the problem.
Yes, there's warm bodies.
And like maybe they finally bite the bullet. If you turn Blade Tidwell into a reliever, he's probably a very good reliever the next day.
Oh, so definitely. Throw 99.
So that could be something, but again, probably still wanted to get him as a starter. Like Gregory Santos, a guy that we've also talked about a bit. He's back to throwing 100 this spring after, I think he had a PED and a couple different arm injuries, but he's a guy, you throw him in the middle, you pray like something works out there. I think Brent Honeywell actually had a shot to make this team as well. Like there's names
for sure. They've got bodies. We also brought up the Angels. Just briefly want to talk about them. You had them a little bit lower than me. Again, I do think it's about the same. I think we're relatively on the same page. The only reason I gave the Angels a slight benefit of the doubt of getting them almost inside the top 20, Kirby Yates and Drew Pomeranz will probably be acceptable. I think they'll probably be acceptable bullpen arms. I think Jordan Romano stinks. Ryan Zefferjohn actually has some decent stuff. I kind of like what I see there. Brent Suter, I don't know how he does it, but he'll just pitch to like a 4 ERA out of the pen. And then I like the idea of Bachman and Silseth out of the pen. If those guys are going to be there, I like them more as bullpen arms rather than starters, just because they can bump up that velo a little bit. And then I'm seeing right now that Walbert Urania is slated to be in their bullpen as a long guy. I think out of the rotation, Walbert Urena, keep an eye out for him. His stuff has been electric this spring. He's been incredible. Watch out for him to get into the rotation and bump Ryan Johnson back to the bullpen at one point.
This is a bullpen I can also see being a big riser from this crew just because they're probably getting Ben Joyce back this summer. Just without updates, I couldn't rank them like anticipating that. Same with Robert Stevenson. Looked like he was going to pitch. What?
Elbow inflammation on Robert Stevenson from last year. I think he might not be okay.
No, he threw some bullpens. He came out in the spring, then he went out again. So like those two guys, and Robert Stevenson actually looked good when he came back at the end of last season. So if those two guys are in the middle of this bullpen, this can kind of actually become, especially if one of Kirby Yates or Pomeranz actually still pitching well, like this can sneak well inside the top 20, I think, with perfect health. But that, with the question marks they have right now, I could not put them there.
Yeah, and I mean, this bullpen gets a lot better if Reed Detmers can't do the starting pitching thing too and goes back to the pen.
Really good point. I'll say, I also think Jordan Romano is getting the first save opportunity for this team. I think it's trended that way this spring.
Enough of him. I think that's everybody.
I think so. Yeah, now we're going to top 20. We talk Rangers, we talk Cardinals. Yeah.
Hilarious that from 21 to 30, there is not a single team that we didn't have in that same range.
Yes, we got all those 10 teams the same, but slightly different.
All right, James, 20 to 16, who you got?
All right, going to start changing up a little bit now, probably. 20, I have my Marlins. 19, no one's Astros. 18, the Royals. 17, the Reds. 16, the Baltimore Orioles. And I see a pretty big tier shift between the Reds and the Orioles. That's where I started to start thinking about bullpens differently, but that's where I have them.
Interesting. Okay, so at 20, I have the White Sox. At 19, I've got the Houston Astros. Don't know how we picked that one because I think that might even be a bold take to some people around the league thinking about how this bullpen is, but they stink. 18, I've got your Marlins. 17, I've got the Orioles. And 16, I've got our New York Mets. I'm feeling a little bit shaky about this bullpen, but White Sox, you're going to have a little bit higher. Let's save that. Let's go to the Astros. Let's talk about them because we both had them at 19. I don't know if you guys have seen this Houston Astros bullpen. Again, I don't know how locked in you've been to the bullpen and the news going on out there. Josh Hader might be cooked for the year. Don't feel particularly
He's
good
throwing
about him.
bullpens.
Don't feel good, though. Anytime you hear bicep inflammation, that's the calf to the Achilles. That's what leads to the elbow. I'm scared when I hear bicep inflammation. Brian Abreu is awesome. There's no doubt Brian Abreu is not awesome, but also at the closer role, he's been shaky. Everybody else in this bullpen, I don't know if they're major league bullpen arms, to be honest, besides Stephen Okert.
Can I read you through the Josh Hader injury timeline as we got through the offseason?
Yeah, hit me.
So there was optimism towards the middle of September that Josh Hader was actually had a chance to return for the playoffs, end of August, which was crazy. Then September 24th, yet to resume throwing. Then you got November 12th. Josh Hader's thrown off the mound 3 times while recovering from a shoulder injury. Then in November 17th, Dana Brown said the team is hopeful Josh Hader will get ramped up early to mid-February. November 26th, Josh Hader claims everything is back to normal status quo after season-ending shoulder injury. Finally, February 9th, Josh Hader's been throwing only lightly on flat ground as of late. February 11th, Josh Hader resumed his throwing program Wednesday. February 20th, Josh Hader's playing catch, improving every day. February 26th, there's no timetable for Josh Hader to throw a bullpen session. February 28th, Josh Hader scheduled to play catch. Scheduled to play catch. February 28th. It's not even a month ago now. And then March 3rd, scheduled to throw a bullpen session. And then finally, this month, he's returned to throwing bullpens on a mound, but we're still waiting to get real, genuine progression from him.
I'll say this, even if Josh Hader's there, they maybe go up to 15th for me because the rest of these arms are like Diamondbacks level bad.
I think if Josh Hader's there, they would almost actually become a fringe top 10 for me. As we start to get deeper on these rankings, you guys probably see how Mark and I diverge, where I gave a lot of credit for what I consider someone like a hero closer, like someone who's a true top shutdown, someone I consider a true top shutdown closer in the league. And having Hader and Brian Abreu, like, you suddenly have claim to the best 1-2.
One of the best 1-2s, without a doubt. Healthy Josh Hader and Abreu.
I like Okert.
I like him.
I like Okert. I don't hate Eniel De Los Santos, and I did like Ben Sousa, but he just went on the injured list as well.
Yeah, I mean, like,
which is frustrating.
Roddery Munoz is going to be one of the guys out there. Christian Roa, who the Diamondbacks said is Christian Roa from the Diamondbacks? Or am I missing? He's Christian Mena. Christian Roa has been here. I'm not particularly excited about him. Kaiwei Tang, Ryan Weiss, there's no juice in this bullpen on their fringe guys.
Ryan Weiss is a fun swing man. He just has like a pitch repertoire. I think I talked about him too in the pitching breakouts. Like, good fastball, good changeup, good sweeper. Like, I can get any guy out.
Yes.
So I think if they are committed to him as a reliever rather than a starter, and they actually tighten up his workload, I think him for 2 innings actually can wind up being kind of nice. Kaiwei Tang's a classic long man. I don't know what it's going to be. And Roddery Munoz actually has a fastball, so that's something there.
But he gets pieced up every time he pitches.
For sure, yeah. We're talking about who could potentially be the 6th. And Brian King's also a nice lefty. So I think you're underselling the middle class of this bullpen, but losing Hader and Sousa, to me, knocks them down again to this barely inside the top 20. But if both of those guys are healthy, I think, to me, they're basically at least inside the top 10.
Okay, and you had the Marlins at 20, right?
Exactly at 20.
Yep, I had them at 18. I mean, it's Pete Fairbanks. They have some guys, I think, that will get picked off by other teams.
They have some guys for sure.
No, they have some arms. It's just, I think, get ready for this. They might be more valuable individually than as a team bullpen. Is that a crazy statement?
Kind of, because together as a team, they're still good. Like Michael Peterson, World Baseball Classic hero. He's in this bullpen now. Tyler Phillips, another World Baseball Classic. I mean, no, he wasn't World Baseball Classic.
WBC.
No,
he wasn't. He's the guy who punches himself in the face.
Yeah, he slaps himself in the face.
Jersey.
Talk about that. Yeah, Jersey boy, of course. The guy who punched himself in the face. What state could he be from?
South Jersey as well.
let's be real about that one. I think Bender, Fauché, and Nardi are also decent. Like that's a decent squad, but Fairbanks, I'm a little bit concerned about the way his velocity and his stuff has trended down lately. A lot of people like the color he showed last year, but I want to see some health from Peter Fairbanks. He's not, to me, anywhere close to what I'm saying I'm looking for, like a hero shutdown closer.
Fair on Fairbanks right there. I'm not going to argue much with you there. We both had the Orioles down here as well. I had them at 17. You had them at?
16.
Yeah, just this bullpen has nightmare written all over it. There's a world where, like, if Ryan Helsley isn't Ryan Helsley, what in the world do they do? I don't know.
At least this spring, you've seen Ryan Helsley be effective, miss bats, not allow 500-foot home runs like he did down the stretch last season. So this is me assuming, like, again, I know I talked about it in the Players Worse Than Expected video, but now, like, ranking a bullpen, I'm like, he probably is just fine. I don't think he'll be as good as Cardinals Ryan Helsley, but he's definitely not going to be as bad as Mets Ryan Helsley. So he's close-ish to a hero closer for me. So I gave them, like, why would you put the Reds ahead of the Orioles?
I like more of the arms. I'm going depth
Quantity?
bullpen. Yeah,
Like we flipped on this one.
I know that's so.
I'm not a depth bullpen. I want
what
heroes.
What a bizarre thing, especially in a world where the bullpen pitches like half the game. I'm like, who's gonna be out there every couple days?
Because we know half these guys aren't going to be in the bullpen in 2 months, in all of these teams.
Fair. That's a fair statement. But
So I'm
like,
looking at a lot of top fours.
I'm looking at like Jackson Kowar, Grant Wolfram, not our boy Rico Garcia. He's a
That's a
stud.
dog.
That's a dog. Dietrich Enns. Tyler Wells maybe out of the bullpen will be better. I
I
like.
think
him as a
Tyler Wells
start-
can be great out of the bullpen.
I like him as a starting pitcher, so it's a weird one. Yennier Cano did not particularly look great recently. Keegan Aiken, I think, looked better out of the bullpen, but again, interested to see what he can do out there. And this really is just me having no faith in Ryan Helsley because I've been hurt.
Yeah. Which is totally fair. I had to like put aside that bias to have some faith in Ryan Helsley. Wolfram he's going to get right-handed batters out. I'm confident in that. And he throws 96, so I think his four-seamer can handle the lefties. Like I think, and also Dietrich Enns. It never makes sense, but that guy gets out. He always
I don't
gets
know
out.
how.
I love Dietrich Enns. And I also think Tyler Wells could walk into a bullpen and be nasty.
If Andrew Kittredge comes back and looks good, this bumps them into the top 15 for sure. Then I think that they're better than the Reds. But the shoulder thing scares me because Kittredge is probably their most consistent best reliever in this bullpen, truthfully.
I mean, him and Helsley, of course.
Yeah.
And Aiken's been doing it for a while now.
Yeah.
Like, Aiken's a very solid reliever. So I had struggled ranking them versus the Reds because this is where I had a tier break between Orioles and Reds. So this whole group with the Orioles, I think, are close.
Yeah, to be fair, the Reds are number 15 for me, so I think they're very close.
Okay, yeah. I had them, yeah. I had the Reds 17, you had them 15. But this Reds bullpen, I guess we'll talk about them next. Who else in here? We talk about, did you do the Royals in this group?
No, the Royals were higher.
Okay, so moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Let's go ahead and go to the next group of guys here. So I had the Reds at number 15. I had the Royals at number 14. I had the Rays at 13. Cubs at 12. Guardians at 11.
Okay, some very close, some very different. I had the Cubs at 15. The Chicago White Sox at 14.
Yeah, that's a big difference for ours.
Cubs having the second best bullpen in Chicago. I know you guys are going to love that in the comments. The Atlanta Braves at 13. The Blue Jays at 12. And our Mets at 11.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of changes here.
Now it's getting different.
Yeah, but like you said, you're looking at like those last two guys. I'm looking at
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at depth of the bullpen, and I do think based on the names and how we're ranking this, it does make sense there. But we both have the Reds relatively in the middle of the pack, and I think that this is probably a bullpen that we could look back and say we're underrating, but on paper, it still is a little bit risky. Like, I love Emilio Pagan showed he's going to be great last year. Like, he just looks like a good reliever. Tony Santillan, I think, is good out of the pen. Graham Ashcraft, born to be a reliever right there. Pierce Johnson throws 90% sliders. Brock Burke, probably bounce back. Sam Moll, even like little crafty lefty, but it's a little on the line, which is exactly what the Reds do every single year. Like every single one of these relievers is either going to have a 3.5 ERA or 4.2, and that's kind of why I can't move them anywhere more higher or lower.
Yeah, that's why, again, this Reds bullpen to me was the last tier of bullpens I don't super trust, but I think can be good. And I have the Royals in that group as well, and we'll talk about them because I don't see a dominant force here. Unless Graham Ashcraft takes a monster step forward, or unless our boy Big Sugar Zach Maxwell is in this bullpen, he becomes a force, which he can be, but we still need to see it a little bit more. I don't even think he's firmly even on the roster for opening day as of right now. Luis May also, who looks like is going to be starting AAA, also has a big-time fastball. And everyone's on pins and needles this year waiting for the TJ Antone return.
Can't wait.
I can't wait to watch TJ Antone pitch. That's a deep track from like 2019 baseball, folks. But like it's just a very mid bullpen across the board. I think they did a good job to make this bullpen mid because there was a downside for this Reds bullpen heading into the year where it could have been a catastrophe. And it's not.
Very well could have been. Very well could have been. And this is, I think, where the Reds want to live, honestly, with their bullpen.
Also, do you remember how the Reds got Sam Moll?
That Sam Moll was on the A's. So how did they get him from the A's? That's the real question. Or did they get him from the Nationals?
They got him from the A's.
They got him from the A's. Who did they give up? I don't know. What'd they do?
There's a guy I couldn't believe they traded at the time, and it still hasn't worked out, but we'll see. It was Joe Boyle.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
And now he's on the Rays. Yeah, never would have thought that one.
Never would have thought that one.
We had the Royals both in the same tier, right?
No, I had the behind the Reds at 18.
Okay, I had the Royals at 14, so might as well talk about them. I'm assuming this is because Emilio Estevez, Jesus. Carlos Estevez has hit 90 for the first time, I think, the other day in spring.
Yeah.
If he's throwing, I'll say this, if he's not throwing 95 or 96, he's going to be cut from the team by the end of the month.
He's going to be cooked. He was like our favorite guy to throw into a trade conversations all offseason. And I think maybe some of the other teams were like, oh, maybe not.
Thank God we didn't.
Yeah. He also, he didn't even get in a game for the DR, like in the World Baseball Classic. They were like, I'm not throwing this guy. He's throwing 92.
Yeah, their bullpen, I think, is, again, deeper, but they lack that big hero arm to close games. I don't know who's going to get saves on this team, truthfully.
I'm trying to like position myself in some of the deeper fantasy leagues where I kind of like Strom maybe to get some saves, just because it seems like Daniel Lynch will be unleashed as on like a full-time lefty reliever. That was the absolute softest use of the term unleash ever in the history of the English language.
He's going to throw 93.
Apologize for that one. Daniel Lynch is not being unleashed, but he's going to be pitching out of the bullpen. It seems like full-time. And Ursig also took a big step back last year with his stuff. Schreiber also is a fine reliever. They pulled Nick Mears from the Brewers, who again is a fine reliever. We love having fine relievers, but this bullpen to me just smelled a little similar to the Reds.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, you had them at 17-14. We agree that they're both middle of the pack, and it's a show-me bullpen. Show me what you got this year.
And show me also, make sure some of these guys can. Like, if Carl Estevez shows up, he throws 97. They're
back.
Probably, it's way back. Probably 13, 14 for me. But right now, not seeing it, I don't know if it's there.
You had the Cubs at?
I had the Cubs at 15.
Okay, I had them at 12. Similarly, it's funny because you do like the hero reliever, but I guess it's just because there's literally one.
Yes. Yeah. I was one of the first people in the world on Daniel Palencia being elite
Facts.
closer last May. I was like, this is the guy.
Wait, remember when we went to the Mets game after the Padres? No, the Padres didn't cut Palencia. We went to the Mets game against the Cubs during the
Estrada.
day game. Yeah, I'm thinking of Estrada going from the Cubs to the Padres, which woof. Yeah. But remember when Palencia came in for the save, and I was like, 101? Who is this guy? And you're like, Daniel Palencia, you better learn about him. That's their best bullpen arm.
Yeah, if you guys were watching my live Q&As for Other World Fantasy Baseball last year, like April 18th, I was like, watch out for Daniel Palencia to take the saves. Ryan Prowse looks like dog shit. But this Cubs bullpen, he's the hero, and he looks like he can be one of the best closers in the league. But then it's a lot of faith in the Phil Maton, Hunter Harvey, Caleb Thielbar squad.
Can I interest you in we know Phil Maton's Phil Maton, but he is Phil Maton.
He is. That's
what I'm saying.
Like,
he does it every year. You watch him pitch and you go, I don't know how you keep getting outs like you are, but he does. He won't quit.
And again, that's fine with me. I like Phil Maton a lot. This is really a bet on Hunter Harvey being healthy. If Hunter Harvey can get 45 appearances this year,
yes,
this could be a top 12 bullpen, closer to where you rank them. And again, this tier is very flat for me. From the Mets, two teams above them, all the way down to the Orioles, who had 16. I think a lot of these bullpens can be good or can be bad. And there's possibly just higher floors with a hero or a little bit more depth. Like,
also,
I kind of like Jacob Webb.
I
don't hate Hobie Milner.
I love
Javier
Hobie.
Assad and Colin Ray will be fun swingmen. Like, that's a good crew right there. But it's still... And last year, I give the Cubs credit because they went to the year, the bullpen was bad. And by the end of the season, the bullpen was good.
My bold claim is going to be, is this the guy that I wanted to talk about? Is it Jack Neely? I think it is. Keep an eye out for Jack Neely. That guy might be the pop-off in the Cubs bullpen where at the end of the year, you could look and be like, oh, he's like our second or third best reliever. He's getting big outs. His stuff is nice.
His stuff's nice. Your boy Luke Little stuff can be nice. Ethan Roberts has trended up in the past. I think Ryan Rollison, I feel like he's a lefty with junk too.
He was the lefty who came from the Rockies, Ryan Rollison.
Yes, Ryan Rollison. Yeah, it was. So, and then also the Ben Brown experiment will go for another year. But again, similar to what we've spoken about some other guys. If Ben Brown decides to become a reliever, the next day he'd be an elite reliever.
Yes, he would be.
He still just can be a good starter, so you don't want to go down that path at this moment. But it's in there for this. Again, this Cubs bullpen is good, but I like some of these a little bit better. Can I talk about my White Sox?
Yeah, talk about your White Sox. 'Cause I think that's the last one in this clump for us to talk about.
Yeah, I think they're good. I think this bullpen's actually legit.
I'm not going to chastise you because this is your thing right here. I know that some way, somehow, there's going to be like 6 guys that come out of here, get traded at the deadline. You're like, what a year from the White Sox bullpen.
And they've had now Brian Bannister as the head of pitching for a few years. And Brian Bannister has gotten a lot of credit in baseball of like being a modern guy, and the White Sox need some modern thinking there. Still not having probably the most at his disposal in terms of, other coaches, player development facilities, technology, because that's what Jerry Reinsdorf does. But the developmental squad of Jordan Leisure and Grant Taylor, that is fucking gas.
That's exciting.
Even just signing Sir Anthony Dominguez, just being more gas. I don't know where the ball's going, but you got gas. Like Brandon Iser and Sean Newcomb, too. Like, that's actually a legit pair of lefties who can get big outs in a lot of different ways. And Jordan Hicks, again, incredibly big meme is Jordan Hicks, but back being reliever full-time like he was last year. He was terrible at it, but, like, he'll throw 100.
Yeah, that's like I'm in on Taylor. You told me about Leisure for a while, right? Leisure is how we say
Leisure,
it.
Jordan Leisure.
And Sir Anthony, those are all good guys. And Grant Taylor, I think, will be awesome. He's just his stuff.
Grant Taylor's a freak.
His stuff is electric. Like they should put him in the starting rotation. Enough of this bullpen nonsense. We're getting.
I hope he's throwing 2 innings at a time, so they actually can do that.
We're getting Eric Fetty fucking innings over Grant Taylor is honestly malpractice. They should lock away the GM and throw away the keys. But I can't do the rest of this bullpen again. Like you can't convince me on Sean Newcomb. Brandon Eiser, if the Rays couldn't figure it out, I don't think that the White Sox will.
He throws hard as a lefty.
I know. It's just, again, if the Rays couldn't figure it out, I don't think the guys who traded for Luis Angel Acuna thinking it was Ronnie Mauricio will.
Different departments right there.
Jordan Hicks
different departments.
Jordan Hicks is not only a shit pitcher, he's a douchebag. So, like, I don't care about him. Chris Murphy, whatever. We're looking at some of the guys that will fill in towards the back end of this bullpen. They are probably not really major leaguers. Like, I'm worried about the bullpen depth.
I had Isert mixed up with my guy Cam Boozer.
Cam Boozer we like.
Yeah, that was it. Isert does not throw hard. Very confused. Missed out there. Junk guy. Also, you hit the Jettison Paz.
Jettison Paz?
Paez. They pulled him from the Red Sox Rule 5. Not a very good fastball, but he's got junk.
Yeah, see, not interested. This is why I had them at 20, but I love that
junk his way around.
I love that three-headed monster of Sir Anthony, Jordan Leisure, and Grant Taylor.
And again, for me, I love looking at three-headed monster. I'm looking at these rankings. I think I also like Newcomb a bit more than you.
Yeah, I definitely don't.
Chris Murphy has started in the past. I think he was a starter in the Red Sox org for a hot second. Yeah, he was. He's one of those big lefties that he hasn't broken out. He's already 27 years old, but like sometimes big lefties break out 28, 29, 30.
There we go. All right, top 10, James. Go from 10 to 6.
We also didn't talk about the Mets.
Oh, we didn't talk about the Mets. Let's
Gotta
do
talk
it.
about the Mets.
Maybe this is me being too close to the situation. I think it probably is. I'm scared. I feel I feel weirdly confident about the rotation. I feel really good about the lineup. I don't feel good about this bullpen. Reason being, let me read you off some of the ages of guys who are going to be getting a lot of the innings in this bullpen.
So fair.
Brooks Raley's 37, coming off of major arm surgery a year ago. Luis Garcia is 39. Huáscar Brazoban has an option and is 36 years old. Is probably going to turn 37. We also have 2 starters in the bullpen who, like, I don't know what this actually does for the bullpen for the Mets team. I like Tobias Myers, and I objectively think Sean Manaea is okay. Out of the bullpen, it feels a little awkward. AJ Minter will join back maybe one day into this bullpen, hopefully one day. But, like, Luke Weaver and Devin Williams were really hoping for a bounce back. I believe in Devin Williams. I believe in Luke Weaver. I just don't know if they ever go back to being elite arms like they were for a couple seasons.
That's totally fair. I think that this is probably me being a little bit hopeful about the AJ Minter situation, that it's easy to be pessimistic on from the Mets perspective because last year he ripped a lat off the bone. And we haven't seen any really good news happen about him since. And also the way that the Mets are now trickling out their starting pitching news with Sean Manaea, they're saying being in a piggyback role. If they do actually unleash Tobias Myers as reliever, which I think is possible, they have years of control on Tobias Myers. Even if they unleash him as reliever this year, slightly long reliever, get him to 80 or so innings, you can then repurpose him back into like a back-end starter next year. He was disgusting as a reliever last year. And I think there's a chance that he can be like the lightning rod in the middle of this bullpen. And this is me giving a lot of credit to Devin Williams and also to a lesser degree Luke Weaver.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm worried.
I'm going into the season still believing Devin Williams is a top 5 closer. And I think that Luke Weaver is still a legit setup man. So with those 2 guys in that spot for me, and like you said, that depth is scary with those guys' ages, but we also know a little bit more about the minor league depth the Mets have in terms of their bullpen and guys who are the fringy starters who could get bullpen looks. Like, it is an exciting crew with 2 dudes who throw 100 miles an hour who are going to get looks this year, Dylan Ross and Ryan Lambert. Albert Alzolay, the stuff wasn't super crispy coming through the spring, but it trended up a little bit. He'll be in this bullpen probably within a month or 2. There's going to be a lot of depth that shines through in this bullpen, and I give credit for the hero closer from my perspective.
And I think that's probably maybe where trying to take my bias out of just like knowing the guys behind them that I actually like a lot more than some of the guys in the thing. Try to take that helmet off and be like, objectively, I think that's just us knowing a lot.
And I stared at this ranking for a while, and I was like, "There's no way the Mets could be this high."
Yeah,
but then I went through the few teams behind. I was like, I think I honestly will take our bullpen ahead of those teams because like everything you just said about the Mets, you could say that about the Braves. I think they have a worse closer.
I don't know.
You take Raisel Iglesias or Robert Suarez. As a double, I take those 2 over Williams and Weaver.
I think I might take
closer.
I think I might take Robert Suarez right now over Devin Williams. I don't know about Raisel.
Yeah. I mean, they got basically the exact same contract, so I guess the major league markets agree with you. But that's we'll see. We'll revisit that one in a few months.
Yeah, we'll revisit it. All right, let's get the top 10 now. At number 10, I've got the Tigers. At number 9, I've got the Phillies. At number 8, I've got the Braves. At number 7, I've got the Blue Jays. At number 6, I've got the Brewers.
We got huge differences again. Wow. Number 10, I have the Guardians.
Okay.
Number 9, I have the Tigers. 8, I have the Red Sox. 7, Yankees. 6, Rays.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, where do you want to start? I mean, we're close on the Guardians.
Yeah, we're close to the Guardians. Well, this is also, I think, both of us slightly. It's a Devil Magic ranking.
Yes, slightly a Devil Magic ranking. And it is, if you want to talk about a hero closer,
Kate Smith.
Kate Smith's that fucking guy. He's so good.
No, Kate Smith might wind up this year as like maybe the consensus second or third best reliever in
Remember
baseball.
we were watching the Guardians game and we saw him come in and I'm like, similar to Palencia, I'm like, who in the world is this guy? He gets crazy run on that or rise on that fastball, throws 100, and the breaking stuff's devastating.
And the command's good.
The way that he throws, it's violent. It's sick.
He is sick. And you know who they pulled. It's going to be the next reclamation project. It's our favorite reclamation project reliever in baseball.
Our favorite reclamation project reliever in baseball.
Every year. Different team every year. We know it's going to happen one day.
Who is it?
Carlos Hernandez.
Oh, he's going to be so good.
By July 15th, you're going to be like, oh, man, they did it again. Like, they even, like, the one reason I couldn't even rank this bullpen higher is because, and this is also on us, like, the second tier of the Guardians bullpen just doesn't look that strong right now.
No.
Like, Sabrowski and Armstrong were good last year, so was Festa. Tim Herron gets good outs. Brogdon has flashed in the past, but he's been down for a little while. Holderman is going to be funny to watch for them. I like Trevor Stephan, who they have, who's probably not going to make the team, but will get a shot. That group I genuinely don't really like at all.
Yes.
But I put them in the top 10 for Devil Magic.
Yeah, they're going to figure it out. They'll get it done some way, somehow. That's
Maybe Tugboat comes up this year.
I'd love to see some Tugboat in the major leagues. Come on now, give me Tugboat.
But yeah, it's going to be a good bullpen. This bullpen, there's always going to be more than meets the eye.
Also, Peyton Pallette has to be on the roster, Rule 5 pick from the White Sox this year. So just keep an
was
eye
Rule
out for
5.
him. They must see something.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, wasn't he a starter for them in the White Sox org?
I think so, because he's right now, I think, going to be a long guy because they just don't have the room in the starting rotation. Also, Hunter Gaddis is hurt. Do we have any news on him? Forearm tightness is never good. That usually means you're cooked.
I'll check our favorite player news source over here, RotoWorld, NBC.com.
Classic. We love Roto World.
Forearm. You don't like a forearm strain.
No.
Mild forearm tightness will be on the IL.
Okay.
That's a big guy to go in for them. But also, if he's not good, there'll be a new Hunter Gaddis.
It's probably Sean Armstrong.
Yeah, yeah. But Armstrong is good. Maybe if he trends up.
You had the Tigers at 9. I had them at 10. I think this is just a good bullpen. Again, the names aren't particularly sexy, but down the list, get outs, get the job done. Kenley Jansen, I think, was a great addition in terms of just steady. You know what you're going to get. He's going to get outs at the end of the game, along with Kyle Finnegan, who looked awesome once he made that move over. Playing for his hometown team, by the way. Michigan guy, Kyle Finnegan, playing for the Tigers. Pretty cool.
Didn't realize that.
Will Vest, Team USA. Will Vest is just good.
He's nice.
He's a good reliever. Tyler Holton is a good reliever. The other guys are probably more in that fringe range, but I like the fringe guys. Like I like Herter. I like Hannafy.
How do you feel about Manuel De Jesus after the World Baseball Classic?
He looked pretty awesome for Team Venezuela. Kind of cool.
This is another bullpen, too, where they have so much starting depth. I think you'll see a guy like Kader Montero mix into the bullpen depth at times this year, as long as, Flaherty, Verlander, Casey Mize stay healthy. When Troy Melton's back this summer, he's going to slot in as a weapon. It's just going to be a while because he had a pretty big elbow surgery. This is the bullpen where I bucked a lot of the other reasons for my rankings, where it's solid as hell. And it's hard to poke holes in them.
The thing I'll say, too, is look at how many relievers these guys have projected for AAA on their roster. The Tigers have 40, and usually I think that's a smart organization of picking the guys who have traits that we like and looking through them. There's a lot of names I don't know, but names that I've seen that other teams have tried, like Colin Poche, like Phil Bickford, like Scott Efros, Tanner Rainey, Tyler Madison. There are guys that we've seen that have floated around. Birch Smith is someone that people tried to make work forever. They haven't worked. Woo-Suck Go. They might suck. They might not be good. But I like the idea of getting creative with these pitchers.
And like you said, throwing Kenley Jansen on top just to really settle everybody down. Kenley Jansen was sensational again last year.
He won't die.
If he's on the mound, he's just going to pitch well. And Bo Brisky had a little strained groin. He'll be back probably middle of April.
Yeah, no, they're really good. Again,
Solid.
I think based on projections, people are sleeping on the Tigers. Again, Pacoda had them at 81 wins. I can't even get remotely behind that.
No, maybe that could be the over bet this year.
Yeah, it could be the over one. Okay, next. You want to talk Braves and Phillies? Because I had them in my top 10. You did not. Braves, Phillies, Blue Jays, actually.
I have the Phillies in my top 3.
Oh, nice. Okay, we'll wait for them. Let's talk about the Braves. I weirdly like this Braves bullpen. I think this is going to be my hot take. Out of all the positions, I think this is my highest ranked one, which maybe shows a lot about what I think. But Iglesias, we are waiting for it to fall apart, but it kind of still hasn't.
He's just good. This is not me getting after Iglesias or Suarez. This is me being like, damn, those guys combined ages are 71.
Which is
So
fair.
I think,
yeah.
I think one of them might not get through the season. And then past that, I honestly really don't love the rest of this bullpen at all. Like Dylan Lee, I think the best days are behind him.
I
Tyler
don't think
Kinley.
so.
I think the best days are behind Tyler Kinley. I still like Aaron Bummer a good bit. Payamps has been really up and down the last few years. The one thing that made me think about this bullpen a bit more is the Didier Fuentes.
That's a great addition.
But it's the news that he will be in the bullpen for only a few weeks and then be stretched out back in AAA.
Yes.
Which I don't understand that.
I don't either.
I guess that's just them trying to time up the Ronaldo Lopez and Grant Holmes injuries. Being like, they're probably not getting hurt until the middle of May, so let's put Fuentes in the bullpen at first and then moving back to the rotation. But that entire next tier of that bullpen, there's just not enough quality, I don't think. Like, again, Dylan Lee will get big outs. He always does.
Yeah, Bummer.
I like Bummer a lot. I think Bummer's a better lefty than Dylan Lee at this point. But it's just, I've really questioned this entire bullpen. I don't think they have the same hero as, again, I think them and the Mets are very similar. Same with the team like the Blue Jays. I think those three bullpens, you could go really split hairs and who's the better one of that trio. I just think the Mets, I guess, rile everybody up, but it's just not enough there for me.
I'm surprised you don't like Tyler Kinley. As soon as he got out of Coors, he was unhittable for the Braves down the stretch.
He was, but I still don't love Tyler Kinley. I just don't love the stuff as much.
Yeah, I think they have, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good relievers, like 5 guys that I trust. I don't feel shaky about if they come into the game. Payamps, Jose Suarez, and even Didier Fuentes to a degree. Like
Fuentes is nasty.
No, he's awesome, but like it's a
Fuentes.
20-year-old, so I'm just gonna be like wait and see on those guys. But I do think
he'll be 21 soon.
Almost 21. Almost can get that drink.
I think in May. He got called up like 2 weeks after his 20th birthday. It's unbelievable.
And you had the Blue Jays outside of your top 10. I had them at number 7. But again, I think it's the similar conversation of one, like I thought the Blue Jays had one of the worst bullpens going into the year last year, and then they just didn't. They were just good. So I'm just going to think that they're good again. It really comes down to that. And I do look at this bullpen, and sure, there could be some major setbacks for some guys, but Fluharty was great. Tommy Nance has been good in the past. Braden Fisher was awesome. Brendan Little was awesome. Louis Varland, I don't know how many pitches he has left because they used him every single game in the postseason, but he's been great. Love Tyler Rogers. He's awesome. Jeff Hoffman probably stinks, but also might just be a good regular season pitcher, better than postseason.
That was why I took this bullpen down a notch in these rankings because they definitely don't have the hero. Like 1 through 8, this bullpen is unbelievably solid, and they're all very optionable. Like I like Brendan Little's stuff a ton. Same with Louis Varland again if the arm is still attached at the shoulder. Tyler Rogers I think was a very important bullpen addition for them.
Huge,
because when you're not going to pay for the hero, which I think they considered, but they wound up deciding against it. Just getting him, who's going to be unbelievable quality for 60 innings a year. But it's just I don't know who the stopper is in this bullpen. Hoffman will be a good, like you said, regular season closer, and he was great the regular season last year. He was great a good chunk of the playoffs too. But the stuff has trended down, and he has that injury clause in his contract, which makes me a little worried about him. This is a bullpen to me where things can go wrong.
That's fair. It could. Again, I'm probably overrating them a little bit by putting them in the top 10, but you might be underrating them. But also, this was one of the bullpens going into last year where like stinks. So
and it's way better. It's way better than stinks now. Like this was. Really, really thought hard about them being a top 10 bullpen for me, and they're just outside of it.
Who's Spencer Miles? Rule 5 pick. I don't know anything about this guy. You know anything?
I'll get you stuff in a sec.
I love seeing a Rule 5 guy on projected rosters because I go, they must think there's something there.
At least something enough.
Especially like
25 years old, came from the Giants org and Rule 5 draft. Missouri. Okay, we like Missouri
pitching
pitchers.
Lab.
Wow, lots of strikeouts last year. I think he's an injury guy.
Okay, so that's what it is.
Because he's pitched 11 innings since the beginning of 2022.
That's so few.
No, more than 11. 14 and 2/3.
More than 11.
14 and 2/3 since the beginning of 2022. That's all I got.
All right. Did you have the
apparently 60 grade fastball. So if they see a health grade on Spencer Miles that can trend up, they can keep him healthy. Maybe that's a guy.
Do you have the Brewers in your top 10?
Oh, I had the Brewers.
Cool. Fine.
Really high.
Sweet. We'll talk about them in a second. Who else was in your top 10 that we haven't spoke about? I think the Rays are one of the teams.
The Rays we had a big difference on. I had the Red Sox and Yankees 7 and 8.
Okay, we'll talk about Red Sox and Yankees in a second because I have them a little bit higher. But the
both in
Rays,
your top 5.
Yeah, the Rays. It convinced me, James. Convince me about this bullpen because I don't love it.
To me, Griffin Jack's a hero reliever. I think stuff-wise. Last year, the results were very poor, but I think it was a lot of bad luck. Just also a lot of him kind of changing some pitch mix stuff, trying to see if he can get out of the sweepers for lefties. Came back to them. It's hard enough, so you might as well just do it. He's a monster. Clevenger is one of the best left-handed relievers in the league. Brian Baker, who they pulled from the Orioles in the midseason trade last year, that was very strange. He's also a nasty, nasty setup man. Hunter Biggie, going into last year, was one of my favorite breakout relievers. He got smacked in the face with a line drive, and then that knocked him out basically the entire season. But I think he's nice. Mason Englund's nice too. Edwin Yuse's injury is not as serious as people first thought. So I think he'll be
that's a
back
big deal.
earlier than expected. I've been fond of Steven Wilson for years, as you know, as a big hard throwing righty. I think he also has like a back thing, but he'll be back. It doesn't seem like it's super serious. This is a bullpen.
You're not going to name your guy? Who's in the bullpen? There's one more of your guys in this bullpen.
One's of my guys. Who?
Cole Sulser.
Yeah, but Cole Sulser was good down the stretch last year, but he's more of like a depth piece. He's like, we hope his ERA is under 4. I think this bullpen it has tons of quality at the top and has tons of depth behind it.
Yeah, maybe this is me not being as hip to the guys. Like, I love Jax. I think Clevenger's good and Brian Baker.
They got Cam Boozer. There he is.
There
I found
he
him.
is. Yeah.
Right, so bump him up even more.
I like those 3. The rest of it, I have, I guess, a little bit of question marks about how good they will be consistently, but it's the Rays. They'll figure it out. They'll get guys. They probably... And this is what the Rays do every year. They'll probably end in terms of like production and output as a top 10 bullpen. I think just on paper, I can't put them there just yet.
Yeah, I have them at 6. And also, I think that maybe it's a divergence on Griffin Jax, right? I think Griffin Jax is one of the best relievers in baseball.
And
Griffin Jax
that's the divergence.
He could have the second or third lowest ERA of any reliever in the league.
That's always been your guy.
I love that dude. He's awesome. He's such a good pitcher, dude. I love Griffin Jax.
All right, let's do the top 5 now.
Yeah, so differences. 5. I have the Dodgers.
Okay.
4, I have the Mariners. 3, I have the Brewers. 2, I have the Phillies. And 1, by themselves, the San Diego Padres.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, our 1 is the same. 5, I have the Red Sox. 4, I have the Dodgers. 3, I have the Mariners. 2, I have the Yankees. 1, I have the Padres.
You have the Yankees at 2.
I do. I love the bullpen there.
So this is where you pull your hate back in.
Yeah, I know. I let this one go. You want me to wax poetic on the Yankees?
Convince me the Yankees are the top 3 bullpen in baseball.
Dave Bednar's awesome. We love Dave Bednar on the Windup. Dave Bednar podcast and channel right here. Big Dave Bednar guys.
Big time.
Camille Duvall's got to figure it out at some point. Has to. And even if he figures it out 75%, probably a top 20 reliever in baseball. Fernando Cruz is sick. Fernando Cruz is awesome. Good. He's really good. I fucking love Tim Hill. I love Tim Hill. He looks like my crackhead cousin, but like not that I have a crackhead cousin. He looks like if we were related.
Who's your crackhead cousin?
He looks like if we were related, he'd be my crackhead cousin. Shout out Tim Hill. Love him. Funky lefty. Everybody needs a Tim Hill on your roster. I don't think Jake Bird can be as bad as he has been. I think there's no way that Jake Bird was as bad as he was last year, just because the stuff's pretty decent. And again, get out of Coors. I think he'll play fine. Maybe this is me banking on one of those power arms that they have as like an Elmer Rodriguez or even a Carlos LaGrange getting some bullpen looks this year, because those arms are absolutely electric. I do love Hedrick, who's I think starting the year in AAA. He looks pretty good. And
good.
Angel Chivi is going to be my guy this year, where it's just like I think the Yankees will be able to figure it out with him. He's had good stuff, just was pitching in Colorado. But I think they have a really solid bullpen.
Yeah, very fair. And the Yankees always get more out of their bullpen than it seems early in the season. I don't think I'm as in on that middle tier, the trade deadline crew from last season.
Cool.
I've just seen, again, not Dave Bednar. Dave Bednar is one of the best players, one of the best relievers in
podcast.
baseball. Huge Dave Bednar channel. But Doval, I just want to see something. I don't know. I don't know if it's preparation. I don't know if it's focus. You have the most electric right arm on earth almost. Like, why can't you do this? And they also have a lot of very interesting guys. Even some that you didn't name, like Kervin Castro.
I don't know
was
who that is.
Freak. He had a PED suspension from the Giants a few years ago, but I think was a shortstop convert who just started pumping 100. Dylan Coleman also had a fun period of time. Rafael Montero's an NRI for this team. Osvaldo Bido is an NRI for this team. Eric Reiselman has been in this system for a while. He's got a little bit of stuff. Like, this bullpen has so many dudes. And again,
Tom Hamill.
Tom Hamill. Watch him get. And I almost think Carlos LaGrange outpitched himself of a bullpen role this spring.
Probably. The thing I'm wondering about is when Cole and Rodon come back. They're going to be moving. There's just no room in the rotation. There's not.
Well, there will be when Ryan Weathers is injured.
That's fair. But then you still have like Will Warren or Luis Gil gets bumped to the bullpen. I think they'd be great out of the bullpen guys.
They also pulled Klopfenstein, everyone's favorite top 100 prospect, as an NRI.
Him and Jordan Balazovic were on those lists for way too long.
Adam Klopfenstein still can have his parents' health care. He's still not 26 years old.
What? How old?
Still.
What?
Also, as another lower tier guy in the Yankees farm system, I love Ben Hess. Ben Hess also nasty curveball. The Yankees get these fastball. They were doing the sinker slider thing, and now they're doing the fastball curveball. The Yankees pitching development is very, very good. It took you years to realize how good this pitching development is.
I'll never give them credit. Don't worry.
But again, it's a great bullpen for me, but just barely outside my top 5.
You had the Red Sox at 6?
8.
I had the Red Sox at 5. I think those are relatively similar-ish spots.
Same tier.
Aroldis Chapman probably can't be as good as he was last year, but what if he
No one
is? But what if he is? Garrett Whitlock's really good, super underrated reliever in baseball. Justin Slayton, we love. He's a dog. Greg Weissert, pretty solid. Shout out Team Italy. Greg Weissert was a hero. And then, like, who loves Giovanni Moran than us more?
I love Giovanni Moran.
I love him. I think they have fun arms out of the bullpen. I think their pitching development's also really good. I just trust Andrew Bailey to get the most out of these guys when he gets them. And if there's ever a world where they just want to, like, throw some of these chaos guys that they have in AAA into the bullpen, they're going to be unbelievable.
Which that could be something about them. I'm a little bit suspicious of Whitlock after the way the WBC ended. This is a good tweet from Red Sox Stats. I think I mentioned this in our WBC recap video. Whitlock threw his 5 slowest fastballs the World Baseball Classic in the final, 9 of his 13 slowest. And he pitched after pitching 3 games in 5 days. So I wonder, I mean, that could be ramp-up stuff, but if there is anything wrong with Garrett Whitlock, and that's fully us just dreamcasting.
Yeah, that would change things.
This bullpen changes a lot. Like you said, we like Slayton. Daniel Coulomb, late addition, is fun.
Will we ever see Cutter Crawford again?
Maybe he'll be relieved. Like I don't know how they're going to handle the starter stuff.
They have
I really
18.
don't. Like maybe is Brian Bayo a reliever now? Like because Peyton Tolley and Connolly early were so good in spring, those guys both have true ace potential. But you trade for Sonny Gray, you trade for Oviedo, you sign Ranger Suarez. Like how do all these guys actually fit? Too much starting pitching is not real and it's never a problem. But it's interesting how this is going to work out. And I'm with you that this can be a top 5 bullpen if some of those starters move to bullpen roles.
Sure, that's fair. Brewers, I had at 6. You had at 3.
3.
I think it's sick. I think the Brewers bullpen's awesome. Again, maybe this is me not knowing truly what some of the stuff is of these later guys like Easton McGee, DL Hall, and I know Aaron Ashby's pitched well, but like I don't know if he's like disgusting by any means. That being said,
he was disgusting as a reliever last year.
Talk about hero guys at the back end of this bullpen. Give me Abner Uribe and Trevor McGill. That might be my favorite 1-2 punch in the entire league.
Dude, also like if Jared Koenig or Angel Zerpa were on other teams, they'd be hero guys.
Yes,
like
they
they're
would
that
be,
good.
yeah.
Like, and I think that we're going to see the best version of Angel Zerpa we've ever seen. It seems like he took a little bit of what the Brewers told him briefly, maybe even just in an email to the World Baseball Classic with him, and he was outrageous. Like watching a pitch, I'm like, that's. Sometimes you watch it again. We're not stepping the box against velocity, but if there's a guy who I'm like that would be an uncomfortable plate appearance, I think Angel Zerpa is near the top of my list,
yes.
And I think Abner Uribe might be the top of that list.
Oh, Abner Uribe, I would be fearful for my life.
And like even just a guy like Grant Anderson just has nice stuff on 2 different fastballs. Like he's going to get big outs for them. Trevor McGill looks totally back to full health, elite this spring again. I don't know why some people. I don't know who's actually the closer of this team. I still assume it's McGill, but Uribe is one of the 10 best relievers in baseball.
You know what's really cool? They could play a matchup. They could play swing pass. They could play. Oh, Trevor McGill pitched yesterday. Let's go Abner Uribe today. Oh no, our steak is too juicy.
Those guys are so good. Like I can't get away from how good those guys are at the top, and then how good I like that second tier of dudes.
Yeah, their bullpen's awesome.
Peter Strzelecki's nice and they have in AAA. Like JB Buskowski's, I've been waiting for that fastball to play up for a while. He's going to break out as reliever for this team. Watch it. And like, there's also 25 guys we don't even know yet, and they're going to break out for this team.
We have no clue.
They're partially for me a Devil Magic ranking, but also partially their Big Four. I think it could be the best Big Four, maybe second best.
Dodgers, I had 4. You had 5. Just simply put,
really just
everybody throws 100, and everybody's really good.
Edwin Diaz, I guess, on this team sucks.
Fucking Dodgers.
Piece of shit. But also like Tanner Scott, Alex Vesia, Will Klein, a great trio behind Edwin Diaz. I think Jack Schreier is going to be a breakout guy. Edgardo Henriquez is like their 9th guy in the bullpen. Throws 103 miles an hour.
Justin Robleski, I think down the stretch was pretty unhittable. Like, and he might not even be in the bullpen for too long because they have so many arms. It's just they have a million of them.
I think at some point Bruce Gratterall actually will come back and pitch.
Maybe.
Which is like that'd be cool if he does.
Yeah,
but, like,
I guess
we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I remember him, but this bullpen's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't think there's too much talk there.
Where'd you have Mariners?
3.
All right, and then 4. This bullpen's. I think they're being slept on a little bit right now as a bullpen.
Oh, really?
Do people see them as a top 5 bullpen?
I think so, but you guys can let us know in the comment section. Here's why they are a top 5 bullpen. Andres Munoz, disgusting, unbelievable. Talk about a hero closer. He loves loading the bases and getting out of it just to make you sweat a little bit, make the people of Seattle have a mental breakdown. Matt Brash, as long as he's healthy, has some of the nastiest stuff in baseball. Jose Ferrero is a great pickup. Bizardo, Gabe Spire, like those are 5 really, really, really good relievers. And then even behind them, just love the arms. Carlos Vargas could be the Edward Bizardo of this
season. Yeah. Who's this year's Edward Bizardo?
Carlos Vargas.
That'd be a good Bill Simmons segment. But like Also, Ferrer, I think, coming to this organization, they identified him and they relatively quote unquote overpaid to get him.
Yeah.
Just because I think they wanted to take something off Gabe Spears' plate. Gabe Spears last year was a scared straight name.
Spire.
I always do that. Gabe Spire. Every time there was a lefty on base in the 6th inning or later, they shook him, woke him up, and get you on the mound. And he was one of the most effective relievers in baseball, even with one of the highest usage rates in baseball. So I think Ferrer to take some of that load off and throwing 100 from the left side like this, and also Matt Brash, dude,
Sick.
it's like he had the big injuries. I think a lot of people forgot that pure stuff-wise, this could also be, I've said this probably 15 times this video, one of the top 10 closers in baseball, one of the top 10 relievers in baseball, but it's depth, it's talent, it's different guys who do different things well, lefties and righties. Like, this bullpen's nasty.
Disgusting.
So fun.
Any others we missed? Oh, Phillies, right? We got to talk Phillies.
I had Phillies at 2.
Yeah, I had about 9. I think
That's a big difference to me.
I think the reason is you're probably more hip to the stuff of some of these guys. I like Duran. The rat fuck Alvarado is good still.
He's still really good.
Brad Keller's very good. Those 3 are really good. Tanner Banks doesn't excite me. I know Jonathan Bolin, I think, has shown good stuff, but I'm going to wait
Bolin
to
excites
see.
me.
Kyle Backus, I'll wait and see. Tim Mays and Zach Pop. I think they're back into the bullpen's a little bit scary, especially because Kirkring hurt his hamstring, so I don't know when he's going to be back. Orion does have nasty stuff. Just don't throw to first base.
No, I mean, actually, he could throw. Yeah, throw home.
Throw home. That was it. Yeah, I mean, don't
Gotta
throw it
throw it
anywhere.
first.
But throw home, not as a pitch.
No, this is another team where they are getting devil magic rankings from me because Caleb Cotham's been the pitching coach there for years.
Fair.
They get more out of everybody, and I think Duran
Is sick.
He's wickedly underrated.
Fan of the windup. Joan Duran. When we ranked him as an elite closer, bang, saw that on Instagram.
Yeah, and Alvarado, Keller, Duran, Banks, Bolin. That's a 5 that not many other teams, from my perspective, could compete with in terms of quality and the quantity.
Yeah,
So
you'll have to sell me on the Banks and Bolin, but
Banks is a gross lefty, and Bolin has so many weapons. I like when relievers have weapons because it can kind of, and he throws. Bolin sits 96, fastball, sinker, changeup, slider, curveball. It's hard.
a lot.
It's hard for any hitter from either side of the plate to really get a look at him. And he's an extension king, almost 7 feet of extension. He's 6'6", 250. He's a brick shit house. This is a guy that has a lot of things going on.
Again,
I thought when they made that trade, he was going to be someone they sneakily tried to turn into a starter because I thought the stuff was that good.
It's just interesting to me always when in a weaker division in a better ballpark to pitch in, he still couldn't really find a way to get away from giving up runs. That's the one thing that's interesting to me.
I mean, his ERA last year was fine.
3.8. Yeah, no,
Pitched half
it's
the season.
fine. It's fine.
He's dealt with some injuries over the last few years, so I do think that Jonathan Bolin's stuff could keep trending. And you could, when I see a team like the Phillies make a trade with the Royals, I'm like, why'd you pick that guy?
And give up Matt Strom, who's been a staple of the Phillies bullpen.
And Bolin's, I think, a 4-year service time guy. Strom is his last year of team control. So it's an interesting trade right there. But this also be just being like Joan Duran is
So good.
literally unhittable sometimes.
And then the last team to talk about, right? It's the Padres.
San Diego Padres, baby.
I mean, Jason Adams
Nothing to
back,
say.
so they're going to be good. Mason Miller and Jason Adams, that is the best 1-2 in baseball. And, oh, by the way, Jeremiah Estrada might also be that, too. Oh, and also Adrian Morejon might be that, too.
And also David Morgan's going to be this year's demon. Bradley Rodriguez, this next guy who's throwing 100.
Yeah.
Magic Wandy Peralta, just when you're looking at 100 every single inning, and all of a sudden Wandy comes in there with a little
Just doing a little dance.
just working the edges. I'm like, God, this bullpen is so good. It's amazing how this team is built. It's just funny.
We'll
to
see
look at this
Yuki
roster.
Matsui at some point when he gets healthy.
course.
He's holding the Padres ransom. It's my favorite guy on the planet.
So Ron Marinaccio, he'll be out there.
Ronnie Baseball right there.
You can't even really. This bullpen is so much better than I think every other in baseball.
And I think that's why their starting rotation is so shit, is because they said, you got to get us to the 5th and then the game's over. Get us to the 5th, we're going to have a lead, it's over.
And there's so much the depth, the fact that David Morgan and Bradley Rodriguez, if they were on 27 other bullpens in the league, we'd be talking about them as possibly hero guys. The stuff's that good.
No, they got absolute demons out there. They're so good.
So wicked.
And those are our bullpen rankings. Let us know in the comment section below who you think we improperly ranked, or maybe you liked our rankings. We'd love to hear some positive as well. Just kidding. You guys are great. Subscribe to The Windup on YouTube. Listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can follow James on social media at
James Shiano.
And I'm Giraffe Neck Mark. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.